confirmed number of coronavirus cases in Los Angeles County comes to 339,560. The confirmed number of deaths reaches 7,269. Here in Torrance, the total number of confirmed cases is 1,744, with total confirmed deaths at 72. We anticipate those numbers to change as the county updates its last 24-hour operating period. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Leslie Robbins. It's 4 p.m. on Monday, November 16th. Several states on the West Coast have issued a travel advisory urging residents to avoid non-essential travel. The governors of California, Oregon, and Washington are asking visitors entering their states or returning home from traveling to self-quarantine for 14 days to help slow the spread of the virus. California Governor Gavin Newsom, Oregon Governor Kate Brown, and Washington Governor Jay Inslee issued the advisories as COVID-19 cases continue to increase across the country. As California just passed the 1 million mark for COVID-19 cases, it continues to add pressure on the hospital systems, putting those most vulnerable at risk. Along with asking people to self-quarantine after traveling, the state's advisories recommend individuals limit their interactions even within their own household. Essential travel is defined as travel for work and study, critical infrastructure support, economic services and supply chains, health, immediate medical care, safety, and security. Well, with Thanksgiving now less than 2 weeks away, health experts are recommending how to gather safely with a small group for the holiday. Since coronavirus symptoms could take 2 to 14 days to show signs of illness, health experts say to begin quarantine now to ensure by Thanksgiving family members minimize the risk of transmission. Now, experts say outdoor gatherings are best. According to the Centers for Disease Control, celebrating Thanksgiving virtually or with members of your own household who are taking measures to reduce the spread of COVID-19 offer the lowest risk for spreading the virus. And if guests do come over to your house, ask family members and friends to wear a face mask that covers the nose and mouth, except when eating or drinking. Encourage guests to avoid singing or shouting. Encourage guests to wash their hands often with soap and water. Clean and disinfect commonly touched surfaces. Use touchless garbage cans and plan ahead by asking guests to quarantine for 14 days before gathering. The CDC also encourages guests to bring their own food and drinks, avoiding potluck-style meals. Wear a mask while preparing food or when serving food to outside from your household. Have one person who is wearing a mask serve all the food so that multiple people are not handling the serving utensils. Wash dishes with hot, soapy water or use disposable plates and utensils if possible. California Governor Gavin Newsom announced today that 40 counties throughout the state had moved back to the most restrictive reopening tier as coronavirus cases continue to spike. While Los Angeles County has yet to move out of the purple tier, neighboring Ventura and Orange counties were scaled back from the red tier to the most restrictive, setting back a number of reopenings that may have been planned. This announcement puts every single Southern California county currently under the purple tier in Newsom's COVID reopening framework. Now, this means many of the businesses that were allowed limited indoor operations will need to shift outdoors again, like restaurants. Los Angeles County continues to see a spike in cases over the weekend. On Saturday, 3,780 new cases, along with Sunday's 3,061 new cases, made for record numbers since mid-July. Los Angeles County public health officials presented a number of recommendations to the County Board of Supervisors, including a potential curfew, limiting operations of businesses but not completely shutting them down. In addition to the idea of a curfew, the county is discussing putting limits on social gatherings and encouraging residents to stay home and canceling Thanksgiving plans involving several families gathering together. The county's public health department says the elevated number of cases reflects increased testing across the county, with more than 56,000 tests processed just on Friday. The positivity rate also remains high at almost 6%, with younger people driving the increase in community transmission. This rise in cases complicates planning for future reopenings of several industries, as well as schools' ability to reopen their campuses after the Thanksgiving holiday. Dr. Barbara Ferrer, the county's public health director, says many younger people are out socializing with non-household members, raising concerns that asymptomatic young adults are helping to spread the virus to more vulnerable people at a time when cases are surging dangerously in the county. She says spread among family members and work sites are also increasing as well. She reminds the public to protect those most vulnerable by staying 6 feet apart from those who are older and who may have underlying health conditions, and keep those face coverings on whenever you're indoors or outdoors to help prevent further spread of the virus. Preliminary data for one COVID-19 vaccine candidate is showing promise, as it could be a game changer in managing the pandemic. Moderna Inc. announced its phase 3 trial data showed their coronavirus vaccine is more than 94.5% effective in preventing the virus. Moderna, which developed its vaccine in collaboration with the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, said 90 cases of COVID-19 were observed in placebo group versus 5 cases observed in the group that received its 2-dose vaccine. That resulted in an estimated vaccine efficacy of 94.5%. This trial included 30,000 participants, of which the analysis evaluated 95 confirmed COVID-19 infections among participants. Now, the announcement comes on the heels of similar news last week from Pfizer's late-stage COVID-19 vaccine trial, as pharmaceutical companies across the world race to find ways to prevent this virus, which has spread to more now than 54 million people and killing more than 1.3 million across the globe. By the end of the year, Moderna expects to have about 20 million doses of the vaccine ready to ship to the U.S. and remains on track to manufacture 500 million to 1 billion doses globally by 2021. There's a new groundbreaking way of testing for 2 of the most common viruses of our time. UC Davis Health rolled out a new test that looks for both coronavirus and the flu virus at the same time, giving back results in just 20 minutes. According to a UC Davis press release, they are the first in the region and among the first in the nation to use these rapid combined molecular tests. It was one of the institutions that helped evaluate the accuracy of the test so they could gain emergency use authorization from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Nam Tran, a professor of laboratory medicine and UC Davis Health site principal investigator for the clinical validation of the new test, says this will change how COVID-19 testing is performed in emergency or urgent care settings. Tran is also a member of the California COVID-19 Testing Task Force. COSTCO shoppers will now be required to wear a face mask when inside the wholesale warehouse. Now, while that may have been the policy since May, what changed is that they're no longer making an exception for people who say they can't wear one due to a medical condition. The wholesale club's updated policy goes into effect today and requires all members, guests, and employees to wear a face mask or face shield in order to shop in its nearly 560 clubs across the country. The president and CEO of COSTCO, Craig Jelinek, said to members that while this updated policy may seem inconvenient to some, we believe the added safety is worth any inconvenience. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has said for months now that wearing a mask has proven to slow the spread of COVID-19. Students at USC will have to remain learning online a little while longer. Officials at the University of Southern California announced the spring semester will continue with remote online classes in the new year. Now, with the recent surge in COVID-19 cases, the university has taken measures to avoid any further outbreaks on their campus by announcing the spring 2021 semester will continue the way it has been since the fall school year began. Activities such as reopening tennis courts and swimming pools, libraries with fewer students, and setting up tents for small study groups will need approval from health officials. The senior VP for Academic Affairs at USC, Charles Zukowski, said in an announcement posted on the school's website, quote, "We regularly meet with county health officials in our efforts to return to some in-person learning. In our most recent discussions, it has become increasingly clear that conditions are now likely to require that we begin the semester with the same online remote instruction that we've had during the fall, with no additional students in our residence halls," end quote. Zukowski says he remains hopeful that at some point during the spring semester, students will be able to return to in-person or hybrid learning classes. U.S. colleges and universities are seeing a major decline in international student enrollment due to the pandemic. In a new study published by the Institute of International Education, data found that new enrollment dropped 43% due to COVID-19. Nearly 40,000 students, mostly incoming freshmen, have deferred enrollment at 90% of U.S. institutions. California was one of the top states to show a decline in the number of international students, down 16%. University of Southern California was the top destination for foreign students in California last year and saw a 6% drop this year. Well, a startling new report is finding that as many as 1 in 3 unemployment claims filed in California may be fraudulent. That's according to a security company hired by the state's Employment Development Department to help stop these false claims. This has slowed or even denied legitimate claims from getting processed. Now, in recent weeks, Torrance police confiscated cash and EDD benefit cards, arresting 27 people involved and thousands of dollars. Authorities say fraudulent rings are submitting thousands of claims using disposable email accounts. Now, the EDD hopes its new anti-fraud system will speed up claims. It currently has nearly 300,000 outstanding claims and is resolving eligibility issues on 174,000 of those claims. 4 astronauts successfully launched into orbit Sunday night in the historic first operational flight for SpaceX Crew Dragon spacecraft, marking the private company's second astronaut mission for NASA. The Crew 1 mission blasted off from NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida for a 6-month mission. The 3 U.S. astronauts include Michael Hopkins, Victor Glover, and Shannon Walker, as well as Soichi Noguchi with the Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency. The Dragon spacecraft, nicknamed Resilience, will arrive at the International Space Station about 27 hours after launch, which should be about 11 p.m. tonight. This is a culmination of years of collaborating between NASA and the private sector as part of an effort to bring launch capabilities back to U.S. soil and end a dependency on Russia for trips to the International Space Station. Well, speaking of historic, Major League Baseball made a monumental move for women in a male-dominated sport. Former Dodgers vice president and assistant general manager Kim Ng was just named the new general manager for the Miami Marlins, making her the first female GM in the MLB. Now, she is breaking that glass ceiling, becoming not only the first female GM in a major North American men's professional sports league, but also baseball's first Asian American GM. While she may only be 51 years young, her career spans 30 years. Starting out as an intern with the Chicago White Sox at the age of 21, she worked her way up to be the American League's Director of Waivers and Records, then became the youngest assistant GM with the New York Yankees before working for the Dodgers and most recently serving as the Senior Vice President of Baseball Operations for the MLB. Just wow. Congratulations. A world-famous donut chain is opening its newest location in Torrance in just a few weeks. On Tuesday, December 1st, Randy's will welcome donut fans to their Torrance shop on Hawthorne near Lomita Boulevard. And in true Randy's fashion, customers will be able to score a free donut on opening day. Just drop by between 6 a.m. and noon for a free raised glazed donut, or just follow them on social media and get your freebie between noon and 8 p.m. Randy's touts 60 different varieties of donuts. The chain, founded in the city of Inglewood in 1962, opened a Pasadena location in September and also has locations in Century City, El Segundo, and Downey, with future locations announced for Santa Monica and Costa Mesa. There is a special event happening this weekend that you may want to check out. The South Bay Botanic Garden is hosting a visually stunning art installation that will transform the garden into an oceanic experience using thousands of lights and curated soundtrack featuring various musical genres. Reservations and advanced ticket purchases are required, and tickets to the general public are now available. The South Coast Botanic Garden has remained open throughout the pandemic and are asking all visitors to wear a face covering if you are over the age of 2 and to please social distance. Entrance will be staggered with time ticket reservations. Capacity will be limited each day, and there will be a separate line designated for entering and exiting the garden. You can get tickets online by going to southcoastbotanicgarden.org. Well, before we go, at the end of each program, we like to share stories from our community. Feel-good pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. Each year, the Salvation Army kicks off their Red Kettle campaign, which helps raise funds to give back to those in need directly in the community they serve. Well, this year, the Torrance Salvation Army officially kicked off their bell-ringing season at Sam's Club in Torrance with partners from many of their sponsors, including Turnaround Solutions, California Water Service, and the Lowe family. You'll find bells ringing at various locations throughout the South Bay, including Sam's Club, Walmart, and the Downtown Antique Street Fair from now through Christmas Eve. The funds raised in the South Bay will go back to the community to help restock the food pantry, assist in housing, furniture vouchers, summer day camps, vocational training, Christmas toys, school supplies, and music education, just to name a few. What a great way for community members to help their neighbors during the holidays. Now, if you have a great story to share, email us at covid19today@torranceca.gov. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that is our update for COVID-19 today. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as Rhiannon Trutanich brings you the latest. Please be safe, stay healthy, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.